Hello everyone, welcome to Life in the Eye of Tony Coaching. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping in today. And if you like what you see at the end of this video, remember to subscribe and also turn on the post notification valve so that way you are notified every time I post new content. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it today. Today we are talking about unhealthy people. That's the umbrella that is going to cover this conversation today. And the reason for that is because I believe to my core that we try to diagnose and label people and things way too much, and that's really just our ego trying to project and take the attention away from you. If you're over there diagnosing someone else for their insecurities, their problems, their mental health issues, then you're not looking in at you diagnosing your own stuff. Okay? So, unhealthy people is the umbrella for today, and we really need to remember that anytime we are attracting or dealing with an unhealthy person, when we feel something that they are bringing up within us, as much as it may hurt, it's never about them. Okay? Like, our stuff is our stuff, and we have to learn how to deal with that. Then, on the other side of it, anything that they're doing or saying or whatever is never about us. It's funny how that works, right? So basically, if they were to say, you're an effing beep, right? Well, and if I got hurt by that, that's because there's something inside of me that I haven't worked on. Like maybe my confidence is really low, or maybe they cut me down at my knees because they are aware of something within me that they know that they can poke at, right? But if it's something that they know that they can poke at, then that means that it's something unhealed within me. So that is why unhealthy people will really bring you to your core wound if you have enough consciousness. Now, if we are unconscious to our own problems, then we are definitely going to react when that person triggers us. Okay, so when we react, sorry, we're still out here in the woods, obviously, if you can't tell. I just thought I saw something. Okay, so if you react to them calling you that bad name because you are unconscious that the pain that is being triggered within you is yours to deal with, but you're projecting it that they hurt you. Okay? They didn't hurt you. They triggered the hurt within you. So hopefully this is making sense. Okay? When we react to it, we don't process it and we don't go inward and heal. Okay? Then we just continue the cycle of abuse. I'll call it that, basically the cycle of projection, because you projected your stuff onto me. I wasn't conscious or aware of it, so now I'm going to project my stuff back on you, and now we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going until someone somewhere enters with enough consciousness to break the cycle, or one or the other thing is that you are going to endure the point of suffering that's no longer your threshold, and then you are going to move out of this. You are going to vibrate out of alignment because one, you're dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and at some point or another you're going to be bounced back because you're not going to be able to agree to it anymore. So the way we can respond to an unhealthy person is by becoming more conscious of our own stuff. And we can do that by really taking inventory. Okay, what am I feeling right now? Okay, how did that start? Right? They called me this name, or they said something about me. Therefore, I'm feeling a certain way. Okay, let me take them out of it. Let me completely take them out of it. If you have enough consciousness, you can do that. You can at least say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to project on them. They may have said that, but I'm not going to do anything back. I'm going to look within, work out my stuff, and then I'm going to figure out why I'm feeling this way. Okay, so you go in and you go down and you go in and you go down and you go in and you go in and you go in and you go in and you figure out that, oh my gosh, this is all my subconscious programming from when I was little, and I was always picked on and I was always told that I was worthless, and it stuck with me because then I always felt like I had to prove myself, and anytime somebody throws a jab at me, it triggers that old pain. And what do? I then try to people please even more to try and get their approval, and I continue the cycle of the programming. Okay, so now you know what it is. So now you're like, okay, well, one, that's in the past. I don't need to agree to this program anymore. So now I can try to implement change. And I'm going to have to implement change for a series of days, weeks, and make it a practice so that way it becomes a habit and then it becomes a lifestyle. Because just because we're interrupting that cycle doesn't mean that we have broken it. That would be the healthiest way to respond in one of these situations, dealing with our, unhealthy counterparts that are really just helping us evolve. Okay? So let's say, for example, we react. That is okay too. Don't be hard on yourself. Hopefully, after you react, you'll catch yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to apologize for my reaction in the things that I said back because I know that that wasn't right. Cool. You've eliminated some karma there. You've apologized. Sometimes your reaction will match their level, and then you will be able to see, like, okay, well, I dropped out of here somewhere. So now what is it that do I want to do this? Like, is this really how I want to behave and respond to situations or react to situations? Or do I want to take on a different approach? And hopefully, once you're in that conversation with yourself, you're obviously moving out of your ego and you're moving more into your soul because you're wanting to change, you're wanting to develop peace, you're wanting to create harmony, and you obviously realize that there is another way about going in this type of situation. From there, then you can say, okay, well, one, anytime I get to the point to where I'm reacting back to that, I have to stop myself and change. Okay? So you pay attention to the behavior. And if you can spot the behavior, then you can start working from a cognitive behavioral therapy standpoint where you are paying attention to the physical nature of your responses or the sensations or feelings or emotions that are coming from within you, and you're paying attention to it. And once you're paying attention to that, then you can interrupt the pattern and you can say, okay, I spot this right now. Now I need to move on from this and try something different. So in these scenarios, if you're spotting, you can try to be silent. I know that's sometimes really hard for us, especially when someone's just poked at our wound and we want to just like spew it all out over them. Silence will be a great tool. Breathing, focusing on your breathing is going to be a great tool. And trying to develop some healthy communication. So like focusing it on you, like I statements. So I feel bothered when you say things like that to me. And that is okay. You kept it all on you. I notice that when you say this, I feel really sad. Okay? So you kept it on you, and that's good. You're learning to communicate your feelings. At this point, you're learning to express yourself verbally. Okay? If you can't express yourself verbally, writing it down in a journal is going to be your best friend, because you want to be able to get that feeling that's stuck inside of you right now out. So if you go and journal and you were to write about the experience, you can say, this is what happened, and just write about it objectively. so-and-so said this, I felt this way, where does this come from, how do I release it, okay, thank you so much. Always try to end on a positive. Just like being thankful for the situation, that it's getting you into this point to where you're self-reflecting, because self-reflection is that gateway into consciousness. Once you're in a point where you're constantly self-reflecting, you're going to keep moving up and moving up and moving up and moving up, because when you're self-reflecting, you're going to start to notice your own patterns, and then you're going to start to want to change them. And then it's no longer about the unhealthy person anymore. So do you see how that works? Like, awesome. Thank you, unhealthy person, for being the catalyst of change for myself. Okay. At the end of the day, as unfortunate as it is, most of us in the world are suffering. And it reminds me of that very famous Buddha quote about all beings are suffering, or something like that. So if we can move into a place to where we're self-reflecting and working on ourselves, we will be able to hold more compassion and unconditional love for another person. Now, you have to learn how to speak up for yourself. You have to learn how to say no. You have to learn boundaries, and you have to learn how to assert them. And you have to be okay with the feelings people are going to feel when you do those. When you assert those boundaries and when you enforce them. Because what they feel is all about them, and what you feel is all about you. So that was the main point of the whole topic of unhealthy people, is that really it's never about them. What they're feeling is all about them, and what they make you feel is all about you. Once you start to work on yourself, you're going to notice, you know what? I'm going to be okay with walking away from these unhealthy people. And it's not going to be out of a place of anger or hate or rejection or abandonment. It's going to be out of a place of self-love, because you're going to want to be able to preserve your own peace and preserve your own value that you've now placed on yourself. And you're going to be able to say, I love you so much, and thank you for all that you've taught me, but I'm seeing that this just really isn't working for me. Once again, you've kept it all on yourself, and you're going to be able to move on. And yeah, it might be hard, because one, you probably do love them, and that love is never going to go away. It's never going to fade. These things just don't disappear. Once you've loved someone, you truly love them, and it wasn't an infatuation, you're going to have that love within you all the time. And when you move out of vibration from them in a healthy place for yourself, you're going to be able to still wish them happiness and still wish them love from afar. So it's not about, I'm breaking up with you because I don't love you anymore. It's really, I'm breaking up with you because I love myself, and I still love you, but I'm in a different place, and I need to keep working on myself. And that is what unhealthy people teach us, if we become conscious enough to be able to focus on ourselves instead of projecting it back onto them. All right, everyone. So if you got anything out of that, like I'm going to keep asking at the end of all of these videos, please let me know. And if it was something that you're confused about, or hey, I need more clarification, let me know in the comments, and I would be glad to create another explanational video around that particular question. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you the next post.